Hello, SVG. Hope everyone's having a great day. Welcome to the first installment of Recorded Line, where managers that you know and love sit down with the top producers from past AEP that you might not know, but have definitely heard about. Now, today we're going to be speaking with Reece Dydell. Reece splashed onto the scene back in 2018, putting SVG on notice in his first AEP, including 115 subs in October. So let's hear Reece's thoughts on AEP past and future. Reece Dydell, welcome. I really appreciate you being here, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, Reece, you were in the April of 2020 training class this most recent year. So, to a lot of people, this is your first AEP, but if you just pay attention to the production report, you don't realize that, man, Reece, you were a beast back in 2018, my man. You were in the January 2018 class with myself, an old vet. Man, you had Applequist and Selly training you back in the old SMQ days.
Yeah.
Even spent some time in the old building.
Right.
So, man, tell me, obviously a lot has changed from now to then, but first, man, like you mentioned it a little bit, but like what's it like working from home?
I love it. With that being said, like the downside is, having a toddler, having to just make sure that there's childcare in place for her because my wife, she works full time. She's a nurse. So now that we've got that figured out, it's like it's the best of both worlds. You get to just wake up. Literally, I go from my bedroom 10 feet to the office. I have a door. We didn't have a door at the old house. I have a door here, and it's like specifically my office. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I come in, I clock in, I lock in, and then as soon as I'm done, I just walk out the door, and my family's right here. So I love that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Tell me a little bit, maybe more specific to maybe your overall process. Like, what do you think is different from back in like your days in 2018? Then you had a little bit of a gap in there, and now you're back. What's different about your process or how you attack your day?
Process is pretty much the same, man. I'm just like lock in. That's my phrase. That's pretty much it. I try to eliminate all distractions. I try to put my phone away so I'm not constantly looking at my phone. I don't want any type of outside things affecting my flow.
Very, very solid 2018 AEP.
I appreciate it.
You had, I think, somewhere around 205 subs. 115 of those were in October. And I know a lot of that had to do with just like your mentality and your commitment to the grind. Tell me a little bit about like what your schedule is like.
I had like a firm plan. I told my manager at the time because he asked like, how many hours are you planning to work? It was Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., basically from open to close. Okay. Then Saturday it was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then every Sunday it was 1 to 5. So I figure I catch the church people right after they got out of church. And it was close. It was like, if it wasn't 80 hours, it was like right near like 79 and a half hours, but I was pretty much hitting 80 hours every week. And that's kind of what I stuck to, man. Like tired from whether or not I wanted to get up or not, whether or not I wanted to make another dollar or not, is like, I need to do this,
Yeah. Yeah. And you kept that up for 9 solid weeks, man. You kept that up every single week in AEP. Why was that so important to you?
For me, it really just boils down to legacy. I'm a big sports guy. I play sports. I like watching sports. And for me, I find a lot of parallels between what we do here and sports, just because, it's a numbers based, job. So we're every day, which I don't look at the numbers every day. I don't look at the dashboards too often, but every day you can look and see what you put up, like how many points are you averaging, how many assists, however. So for me, I just always think, okay, whenever I finally, hang up my sneakers, whenever I retire my jersey, will they say, okay, when they talk about the top people, will I be mentioned? For me, that's the most satisfying thing, beyond the nice paychecks, which are beautiful. I feel like other than legacy, my other reason is the money, because that gives me the ability to provide for the people I love, my family, to where, if my wife, if she never wanted to work again, we're good. If something happens medically, we're good. Not to mention the nice vacations, that these are things that I want to continue to have. I like that lifestyle. But beyond all that, it's legacy. Like, who's the top dog? When you talk about the elite of the elite, who are you going to mention?
100%, man. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, I mean, those 12, 13-hour days, that's a few meals in there. What's your favorite AEP meal?
Bro, so this is when I got addicted to Postmates. Like, now I'm a DoorDash guy, but this
Dangerous.
is yeah, this is, and I tell you, when my bills like crazy every month, I would just go back and look like, how much did I spend on Postmates? Because I didn't want to leave my desk. So it's
I
like
know.
the quickest way was like, all right, I can get food right there at the door. I go get the Postmates, come right back to my desk. But I would say my favorite go-to meal, and I'm a vegan, it's probably, like, I like bowlings. That was go-to. So I used to get their veggie lo mein, was good for me. Also like Cheesecake Factory, not for the reason you're thinking, but because they have they have these avocado rolls that I really love. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. I'll make sure your boss sees this and he remembers that, right?
for sure.
So, I mean, you mentioned, especially being a family guy, man, and especially you working so hard. How are you able to find like a work-life balance to be able to spend the right amount of time with your family, even during those strenuous AEP hours?
Well, I can admit that I definitely didn't have the best balance. In hindsight, I think that's one thing I'll do different this time. Um, Working from home again, I feel like that's going to just help with that, just not having to drive to work, and I'm just right here with family. But as far as balancing, I like to get massages now. That's something that I plan to do, just like a weekly massage, just to kind of decompress. I'm a big Netflix head, so I'm always watching shows and movies and stuff like that. Just anything to take my mind away from it is, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I love that, man. Another thing that really stands out about you, obviously, other than your work ethic, is your specific pipeline process. And
Hmm.
I can share the screen and share your calendar with everybody if I wanted to, but I'll just let them know, and they're just gonna have to take my word for it. You have about
Right.
30 or 40 scheduled contacts with scheduled client meetings every single day.
Right.
Talk us through a little bit about like your mindset behind your pipeline process.
Okay. So I'm very big on scheduling. Okay. So I think that is kind of where it all stemmed from. So if you don't get a one call close, what's the next best thing? And for me, I felt like that was sort of like a missed area that really people didn't really emphasize. They would just be like, okay, so all right, I'll give you a call tomorrow. Does that work? All right. Whereas me, I figured out a way to go more in depth. So if I don't get the deal, I started sending appointment reminders. So I would say, all right, Tom. So I'm looking at my calendar tomorrow. Let's get a time set up for you. So I can give you a call tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Does that work for you? Okay, great. So I'm going to send you an appointment reminder. It's going to pop up in your email from my calendar. It will say Medicare call with Reece Dydell. That's me. You'll need to open that, click yes to confirm your appointment time. That will notify me, secure that time slot for you, and then I'll give you a call at that time. And then from there, I set the expectations. So I felt like doing that, number one, it legitimized, me as a Medicare advisor, right? It made it more official, the appointment, and it basically just it increased the chance that they would answer when I call back. And then from there, you have to actually call back. So you have to actually stick to that time, because if you say I'm going to give you a call at 10 o'clock and then you call at 10:30, where they're like, okay, you're a joke, right? Like, the number one way for me to feel disrespected is if you tell me you're going to do something and you don't do it. So if I am ever late, I'm always apologizing first thing. I apologize for being late. I was on another call that ran over. And then beyond that, anybody that I don't get a hold of for a follow-up call, well, I'm scheduling them out every day. So I'm giving them a call every time, usually at 11 a.m. to noon. I'm calling. So then I organize it by open enrollment people, underwritten people, should prioritize it. Every day I'm going to call them. Beyond that, if I have, like a dental, vision, critical illness, I'll label those as well. And I feel like that's the best way to just sort of organize your day to where you're not just all over the place.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I see with the amount of quantity that you have in there, for sure, if you don't get a couple of one calls throughout the day, especially during AEP, when you have that many callbacks scheduled, you're bound to get something come through on your pipeline. So
right. Yeah.
A lot
and
of consistency there.
Yeah, just to your point, it just makes it to where you're not so dialer dependent. Like if you, which I'm really good at one call closes, but I feel like that's just kind of it's kind of like a risky way to run your business, just hoping that you get one calls every day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. What's your what makes you so good at one call closes?
Very short process. I feel like it's efficient. More so than short. I feel like the best way to describe it is efficient. So I hit all the major points, but I keep my answers very short, my explanations very short. They call them 2 out of 10 answers, right? So for me, that's really key. And also I'm very assumptive. All right, go grab your card. All right, go grab your a blank check. Let's verify. Let's get this done. I think starting out, a lot of new agents, they might have a fear of that. They feel like it's too controlling or too demanding. It might turn people off. But actually, if you have the right tone, if you build rapport, there's no reason why you can't be assumptive.
I want to bring it back before I let you go to the balance piece. This is something that, as manager, as leadership here, that I feel like it's really important to really make sure that all employees, especially agents, is working as hard as they are doing the things outside of work that really fulfill them and really provide them energy. So you had to say like your favorite thing to do outside of work that's just like Reece time. What's that one thing that you're doing that really gives you the energy so you can be the guy that you are on the phone?
It's spending time with family. I know that's such a cliche answer, but yeah, man, like I live with my kids, but I promise you, as soon as I open that door and I see my daughter's like I haven't seen her all day. It's like I haven't seen her in a year. It's like to me, that's the best part. It's what you do it for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Last question for you here. We're asking you to make a bold prediction, my dude. What is your Reece Dydell AEP 2020 prediction?
All right, so I wrote this down because I know you wanted that. So it'll be interesting because whoever sees this, they'll be like, "What happened if I didn't hit these numbers?" So that's more pressure for me. So I broke it down by month, and then I'll give you the total. So October, 200 subs, 50 DVH, 40 CI. November, I put 180, so 180 subs, 50 DVH, 40 CI. December, just because I'm only working half of the month and then I'm going on vacation, 40 subs, 30 DVH, 20 CI, for a total of 420 subs, 130 DVH, 100 CI.
You're the man, Reece. Anybody in this company can do is going to be you.
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting.
Yes, indeed. Man, I love it. I love the attitude. Stay grinding. And man, I can't tell you enough again how much I appreciate the time, and so happy you're back with the company, man. I'll talk to you soon.
I'm glad to see you. You're doing your thing as well. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Take care, man.
All right.